Das, thanks for tuning into Mirror Now. I'm Avni Raja and you're watching Investor's Guide, a show where we make personal finance simple and guide you on how you can invest your money better and make all your financial goals and dreams come true. Joining me on the show is Feroz Aziz, Deputy CEO, Anand Rathi Wealth Management. Feroz, thanks so much for joining us on Investor's Guide. And the topic that we're talking about today is something that, has been creating a lot of buzz, especially in the last few months in light of the uncertainty due to the pandemic. And gold prices also have been going up. So yes, that's what we're going to talk about. Gold. How much should you be investing? What are the different ways, and why you should be careful about how much money you actually put into gold? So, Feroz, of course, when it comes to gold, it's something, at least in India, that we love buying gold. Whether it's for festive reasons, auspicious reasons, or simply something that that gets hoarded, if I may say so, at times as well. But let's first talk about this entire way we've seen gold prices rising over the last few months, and what has been your key takeaway?
Data driven, Avni. When you look at investing in any asset, any product for that matter, you need to look at how this is performed in different pockets of time. If you look at gold in this century, if you made a 3-year investment on any given day, the average 3-year return per annum would be about 12%, which is not very good, not very bad either. But if you look at the last 1 year, it will be a very compelling reason for you to enter into gold as an investment today, because it's given 45-50% return over the last 1 year. So don't get carried away with that. That's one thing which we generally tell investors, because they get carried away with large returns in the recent pockets. If you look at 3-year investing in gold, 12% has been the average return made from 2000 till 2020. So that's one. Second is gold is an asset class which is quoted in dollar globally, and in India it is an investment which is computed in rupee. So whenever rupee depreciates or the value of rupee comes down, the gold prices in India rise further. So the second point which I'm trying to imply is that if you have any global need of money, if you want to send your child abroad for education, then gold can actually be a good asset to accumulate. So the second point which I'm saying is, if there's a need of dollar to be used over the years, then gold becomes a good integral part of one's portfolio. Second, the third learning has been that gold always has these periods of small periods where it appreciates dramatically, and most people miss out that rally with adequate quantum, and then it languishes for a few years. And I think that's the zone we are in. It has stretched itself due to the pandemic's uncertainty, and then it should relax there for the next few years. That's what our opinion, the contemporary one, says.
So what would be your advice at this point in time? Because, there are a lot of people right now who are asking questions about whether or not one should be buying gold at these levels, considering that the prices have been rising, because we also know that the Reserve Bank is also looking to shore up gold reserves in the country. There is a lot of uncertainty, and as we know, gold always works well, especially in times of uncertainty. So what would be the advice here about approaching this gold investments?
So, of course, whenever there's uncertainty, people run towards the safe metal or a safe haven like gold, especially when the central banks across, all the banks are pumping in a lot of money in the marketplace, and that creates a certain degree of demand for gold, point one. Point two, we generally think that it has to be a strategic allocation. It cannot be a disproportionate allocation. Gold today also we recommend only to the extent of the consumption you might have in the form of child's marriage, could be education abroad. Those are the goals which you can set some money aside. Three, if you look at where we stand today in the range of 50 to 55,000 on Indian rupee gold prices, we don't see that over the next 3 years appreciating more than 10-12% in the next 3 years. So if your expectations are a fair bit tapered to this range of 10 to 12%, then you will not be disappointed. if you're extrapolating what you achieved as return in the last 1 year, in the next 1 year, then surely you're going to be disappointed.
Yes, absolutely, Feroz. And one more important point, I want to just highlight here is that when you buy gold jewelry, that is not really gold investments. And that is something that a lot of people have a misconception about, saying that, I've bought this much gold jewelry, so that's in gold investments and that's important to have. But, I want you to just highlight that and reiterate that it's really not the same thing.
Yes, Avni, I think you've hit the nail on the head. So basically, jewelry, quite a few of us as Indians always in the historical past have perceived jewelry as an investment. Anything which has to be an investment, you should be able to buy and sell it at similar prices. Today, the making charges are close to 8 to 10, 12%. So if you buy jewelry today and sell it tomorrow, then you lose 10, 12%. So that's not an investment vehicle. Definitely, it might be an appreciating vehicle, but not an investment vehicle. So,
right. And Feroz, there are of course different ways or modes of investing in gold. You of course have one as a gold bullion, where that's your gold bars, gold coins. You have gold ETFs that are offered by mutual funds as well, gold funds as well. Mutual funds that invest in gold as well, and also sovereign gold bonds, which the government has started offering now. What would sort of be your advice in terms of how to choose which vehicle would work best for someone?
So Avni, to my mind, when it comes to a product or a vehicle selection for gold, it's very easy because one of them beats the rest of them hands down. That's the sovereign gold bond. From an investment standpoint, a sovereign gold bond beats the rest of the alternatives, be it the bars, the coins, the ETFs, the funds, gold funds, because it gives you a 2.5% per annum interest over and above the gold price appreciation, which gets locked in at the time of purchase. So 2.5% a year is a very, very big additional gain which you get over and above the gold prices, point one. Point two is that the tax on these at maturity is exempt. So the capital gains on sovereign gold bonds is a zero. Even equity today gets taxed, but sovereign gold bonds, if held till maturity, can have zero tax. So that can save you another 2.5% a year. So sovereign gold bonds can do 5% better per year than a gold bar or gold ETF for that matter.
All right, Feroz, we leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us with all of that perspective. Remember, gold is a hedge against inflation. It is a safe haven investment. It helps you diversify your portfolio, but there are certain disadvantages as well that we've also discussed, and you must ensure that your gold investments don't overshadow the rest of your investments. It can be a very small part of your portfolio, and definitely not to get carried away by the recent rise in gold prices that we've seen. On that note, it's time to wrap up this edition, but we'll be back with a brand new episode and help you more in different ways of how you can manage your money better. Thanks so much for watching.